Greetings, blade lovers. It's Kubey time again. We have a new one from the good folks over at Kubey Knives and designed by none other than Max Tkachuk. And this is known as the Kubey Vagrant. So don't be hanging around. You might feel you're a vagrant. And I believe this is the KU 291. Let me just check that real quick for you. Yes, I have a memory after all. It is the KU 291. Not that that is important to you, or not. It might facilitate your lookup on Amazon, which is where this came from. And this came in on Amazon at $59.99. A penny below 60 bucks. And Amazon is a good source for Kubey if you can't find them elsewhere, although there are a number of Kubeys out on White Mountain Knives. I'm not sure how many of the budget line that he carries, but you know, it's coming in at a pretty good price. Actually, our knives like Petrified Fish coming in the mid-30s. And even Damn Designs, if you can get your hands on one, for like 50 bucks. But Kubey's got a name. They're developing a name for themselves. This is from AUS 10, which is a decent steel. Better than AUS 8, supposedly. There's 6 different color variations on this one, including a blackened blade and green handles and black handles and what have you. I'll let you look them all up. It's a nicely done even bead blast with a relatively high flat grind. Near as I can tell, it is flat. And let's back out a little so we can pull focus. Very nice jimping. One reviewer on Amazon said he felt it was a little too rough. But you do find jimping like this sometimes, and people don't like to slip off with their thumb, so you're not going to on this one. You have a switchable clip, and it is riding on the surface but with flat-headed screws, which is a wonderful thing. Point up, left hand or right hand carry. It's not a large knife, and we're going to measure it up in a moment. We've got a blade coming in around a little over 3 inches. Got a place for your thumb way out here on that swale. And all my fingers fit comfortably on the handle. You've got a single finger groove here with kind of a built-in guard. And it is a hole opening knife, easily middle finger flicked and or rolled out with the thumb. A little harder to flick it open with the thumb, but you can. That is the only opening means on this knife. Clip is nice and long. It's also not too shiny. It's not branded. Some good stuff going on here. You got Kubey's pivot logo and a T8 on that side. And there is Max Tkachuk's logo. Max is doing designs all over the place. You find him on Kubey, you find him on Tucson. Who knows what other companies he designs for? I think Bestech, yep. I think Concept, right? So really an amazing designer with a wide variety of designs. You may not even know that this is his little invention here. But we have kind of a Wharncliffe going with a belly. Some people will say Wharncliffes have to have a straight edge. Okay, I know Todd Knife and Tool puts ever so slightly a belly on their Wharncliffe designs in the Roxy series for Wii. But if you feel it's not a Wharncliffe, we can call it something else. I think it comes in closest to a Wharncliffe, or call it a drop point. Okay, let's we're at 4 minutes, so let's do some specs. Have an overall length of 7 1/4. We're going to call it 7.3 inches. We have a blade of, we're going to call it 3.2 inches. Cutting edge, pretty much about the same. Have a blade stock of exactly 3 millimeters. And a handle thickness of 0.52 inches. So a relatively slim knife, but you got plenty to hang on to. The G10 is called a denim blue, and it's got a pretty nice texture to it. Wide open construction with 2 pillars, standoffs, barrel spacers, whatever you refer to them as. Finally, let's get a weight. 3.28 ounces. Certainly not heavy at all. So if we put this out here for comparison, I happen to have the Kubey Carve nearby. One of my favorite Kubeys for budget EDC. And you can see the Carve is a significantly larger knife, although not really big. And it's a Tonto, and there is a drop point version, and again, various colors. Notice I got a little more handle on the Carve. Got a usable finger choil. This was an in-house design, near as I can tell. It has no maker's mark on it. And just a really neat, comfortable knife with a great action on it. Kubey Carve. Well, let's not leave off with our comparisons. Here we have the Griptilian from Benchmade. Little longer blade. Yep, and definitely longer overall. So the Vagrant's a smaller knife. Let's, instead of bringing out the Rat one, which is going to dwarf it, we'll bring out the Freak, which will also be larger. There you go. So if you need your Benchmade comparisons, there they are. Lightweight EDC, handy knife, definitely. If you have really larger hands, it's probably not going to be comfortable for you. I would say it works for me for a smaller knife. I mean, I usually like a little extra handle, but you know, I'm not running off the end there in any way. Nice chamfering there around the opening hole. You got the tiniest bit of a choil there, but I would call it a sharpening choil. I'm not going to ram my finger into it. Action out of the box is pretty nice. I did put a little bit of oil on it, adjusted the pivot just a little bit. Opens pretty well. And closing, well, a couple of shakes and you're closed with really not much resistance whatsoever. I'll take another look around. And been skipping this lately, but yes, there are lightning holes on the show side. See if I can sneak a light in there for you. There's the holes. And yeah, there actually are a few on the lock side as well. That's why it's just a bit over 3 ounces. So this is a new one you might like. Certainly not overly expensive, but maybe running just a bit more than the D2 models from other brands and Kubey, which will come in a bit lower. So let me know what you think. This is a relatively new offering from Kubey and joins a fine line of other Kubey knives. Don't forget to give this vid a like and subscribe. We'll be back with you soon.